Hello, and welcome to another episode of Seek Therapy Podcast. It's me, Jasmine.
And America.
And Jasmine Ty.
And I know it's been a minute, but we're back at it again. So, how's everything been with y'all? I missed y'all. America was living it up. I was living it up through her. I was like, insert me. I should have done that because I have friends, the ones that I'm going to go and visit in Florida, and they met in person. And so I photoshopped myself onto their photo. I was like, look at all of us. It was me and Janae in the photo. Insert myself. But how's everything been? What's been your highlight? What's been your challenge? I will stay on brand and go first. So my highlight is having like great friends. Like a couple of months ago, Eric texted me like, hey, what are you doing on March 30th? I was like, nothing. And I'm actually off of work. So nothing. What's that? He's like, oh, well, I got some Victoria Monet tickets for us. And I said, he's like, meet at my house around 5 and we'll go out to dinner. It's a couple of us, just bringing my girls out. I said, period. So I get there. I get to his house. He's like, you want to drink? You want to smoke? Like, what's up? I'm like, surprise me. So then we go and he takes us to a super nice restaurant. Like we get appetizers, pasta, like the best handmade pasta. That's gonna be my nunu. But the best handmade pasta like I've had in LA. And then he picked that restaurant and it was literally a minute away from the venue. So I was like, come on with the efficiency, with the plan it out, like just initiative, all of that. He's like, let's all wear brown because that's her theme. So it was just like great. It was nice to just show up and be taken out. So that was my highlight. It was super nice. She's amazing. She's a whole star. Like, wow. Obsessed.
Yeah.
My challenge is that before that Monday, I woke up, I took my pre-workout, and, I was up at 4 a.m. And then, doing my morning little release. And then I felt something in my stomach and it was like, oh, you about to throw up. So I literally spent Monday throwing up like every hour. And I was like, I know that this better not be a pregnancy because Beyonce.
That part.
And she's going to have libations for Beyonce, honey. I took a test and said no. I said, you don't want. And I went to urgent care. What time did I go? So I went to one urgent care. Why we couldn't find a single parking spot. So we had to go to another urgent care. And mind you, I was like vomiting on the way there in the car. And this car tried to steal my parking spot. And so I literally like rolled my window down and said, immediately the fuck not. Move. I'm like, I just fucking threw up, move. And so he moved his car. And it was awkward because he found a closer spot and he was right in front of me in line. But they were able to give me some medication and that medication helped me to stop vomiting. But my stomach was like unsettled for pretty much until Thursday. So that was the one day that week that I went to work was Thursday. But that was a challenge because ain't nothing worse than just throwing up bile, like not even throwing up anything. I literally didn't eat anything that day. I had a smoothie.
Could they tell you what it was?
They said that it was like a stomach virus or something like that, and that something like that has been going around that actually came from Texas.
I believe it.
So, and then my friend just got it last week. So,
Damn.
yeah. But how about you, America? What's been going on, girl?
I'm here, child. My highlight, I guess that you alluded to in the intro was going to Dreamville. And Dreamville was the vibes were elite. It was everything it should be. For the most part. You know, it was a couple times I forgot I have a license that I have to protect.
Oh, what happened?
No, we good. But you know, I don't do well. Like I know we're in a crowded space, right? And I'm very big on. I don't care if you've been whatever you've been partaking in. I'm very big on excuse me's, pardon me's, all of those good things. And you only got a certain number of times to bump into me and not say nothing before I have
Bit?
a problem. Because again, I understand we're in a tight space. I know it's we're all standing, but also let's have some respect for folks.
Right.
And so but for the most part, it was good. No drama, minimal angst. I only had to collect 3 or 4 people, so that was good.
That's good.
Really proud of myself for that. It was a little anxiety provoking after the fact. So actually, I didn't get triggered until Jasmine you text and asked about me not having on a mask, and then I had a whole ass panic attack.
Oh, damn, Jazz.
Oh, that's funny.
Whole ass panic attack. But hey, here we are. But thank God, made it out alive. It's been 2 weeks, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I told you was going to be okay.
Yeah.
No COVID, other things. Amen. Won't he do it? I saw a lot of TikToks where people were saying they had it, so I'm just glad I won in that number.
Now, why was you looking at that?
It just showed. It was like I'm scrolling, and I see.
They said, "Let me zoom in."
Not me. No, the girl was like, "Not me testing." Like it was across the screen. Not me testing positive for COVID 2 days after Dreamville, and I was like, "Fuck." And then I looked at the comments, and people were like, "Me too, me too, me too." Damn girl, me too. Don't tell me we all been having a sore throat since Monday. And I was like,
Damn.
I know that didn't help.
That's nerve-wracking.
but here we are. God continues to show out. I continue to be his favorite. Amen. So yeah, that was good. And then I guess challenges overall have just been trying to figure out what I want to do next. What I want this next chapter to look like. I don't know if I told you this before, but like around the 2 or 3 year mark of doing anything, I'm like,
you're done.
I'm done.
What's next?
Yeah, like I don't know what it is, but that's my threshold for most things. So that's like down to living situations, like living, job, whatever. 2 years, I'm like,
yeah. What's it giving?
What's it giving? What we doing? So here we are. Well, 3 years in, I guess, this current endeavor and trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next or what I want to do different. So that's been a challenge in the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk to you about that after or at some point.
Okay.
Same.
Because I know that we have similar goals. So brainstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's probably what's next. But
yeah, the work.
Yeah.
The funding.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's fine though, It's gonna work out. Period.
Period. All right. Well, on my end, a highlight for me has been summer plans coming together. So
Okay.
teaching, knowing that like I have the summer off. Like this is the first time that's been a thing in my
Right.
adulthood.
Me
Yeah.
too.
So I went ahead and signed up for summer school. Uh,
Mm-mm.
our district is only doing 2 weeks,
Oh, okay.
and
Still.
and and it's extra money on top of your paycheck. So
Right.
the way my June is set up, what I'm really looking forward to, my family is going on a family cruise together for the first time. Excuse me. And it's going to be like my grandmother, my great uncle, my great aunts, like generations. And so I'm really looking forward to that. Um, Summer school ends the Friday before we leave. And so it's like, yeah, like I'll just continue to stay in a work mode for 2 more weeks and then get to go on vacation with my family. And then when I get back, it's my birthday and I ain't got nowhere else to be, Craig. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. June's gonna be a good month. My little brothers and I are planning my dad a birthday party. We're having a crawfish boil in the backyard, what Southern
Nice.
folk do. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I would say a challenge for me, there's two of them. One would be why my job gives me all my money at the beginning of the month and expects me to have money at the end of the month. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it.
Because we're halfway and where to go.
Like it's yeah. So all my bills have previously been set up on a biweekly schedule and it has been an adjustment for me financially. And I have to start giving myself grace and not beating myself up for being a quote unquote irresponsible adult. So yeah, I'm getting through that. And I would also say my grad school due dates. When y'all were in school, did you stay on top of like this is due this day? And
Very much so.
it's hard. It is a
I'm
struggle
very
for me
type
right
A.
now.
Like I'm very I have my schedule, like
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, I'm definitely
regimented.
And I had a
Yes.
full-time job at the
Me
time.
too.
yeah.
Literally 40 hours.
So it was like I had to make sure, and I was interning, so I had to make sure everything was
Right.
like spot on.
Wasn't no time to play
Yeah.
around. The days was booked from the day
Yeah.
out.
Just a
It won't
pass.
even come
Eyes
in
open
everything.
to eyes closed, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's overwhelming me. Which we talked about. So yeah, and we'll talk about it in the episode, but that's a challenge for me right now. It really is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That adjustment.
Yeah. Because when you come home from dealing with them kids, you just want to like decompress, be quiet, and it's just sometimes it takes me a few hours to bounce back,
Yeah. And I
and then
think
you gotta pivot into, especially with the classes I'm taking now, like this week like this evening I gotta finish a paper on suicide. And so we all know how difficult that circumstance is. And yeah, it's a lot.
it is a lot. Um, and I'm very sensitive to your situation. And I think what's different for me is the fact that I don't have the opportunity to do that because I am a parent too. And so it's like I get off of work, I hit my pen home, and that's like my little time. And then I'm home, parent, have a client, and then I have an hour, And so it's just like seeing it as, okay, this is what has to be done in this amount of time instead of like,
This is what I have to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to negotiate with yourself and then end up not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta get back into that Kobe mindset. I really like that quote from Kobe Bryant of once you make the contract with yourself, there's no negotiating.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been taking myself to the table and negotiating a lot lately.
And it's that fine balance, right? Because you do want to give yourself that grace whenever you need it. But you also have to determine when you need that grace and when you are using it as a crutch.
Mm, yeah. That's a good point.
And I think the biggest thing there is you've already identified, and I think this goes into what we're talking about today too, but you've already identified the issue. The issue is you needing space to decompress, the you needing space for decompression after work. So then it may mean changing certain things so that you can take care of yourself in the morning before you go to work. So that yeah, you can still decompress on your way home, but decompress when you get home, but then you're not needing as much time so you can do the other stuff you need to do.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, adjusting. That's really what it's coming down to, is adjusting my schedule, my routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you're being stubborn.
Yeah.
Like you keep saying that you want
But
to go to sleep early and stuff like
that's
that.
what I've been doing. It's just,
Keep
you
it
know,
up.
yeah.
What time do you get up?
Now 6:15,
What time do you have to be at work?
7:30.
6:15, 7:30. What time do you have to leave out?
7.
Maybe trying to incorporate some yoga, some because you could do like Pilates classes at home. I know you like that. Even dancing, starting your day with endorphins for me, it
Mhm.
has been like life changing because I'm moving my body. I'm able to feel like more productive and ready to tackle everything that's coming my way. Whereas when I bargain with myself and I'm like, oh, I'll work out later, then I'm dragging in the
Yeah.
morning.
If I don't pay myself first in the morning, I got an
I
attitude.
love that. I love that. Say it again.
Pay
Mm.
yourself first. If I don't pay myself first, baby, I am resentful and I hate most things and everybody all throughout the day. And then I had to realize, like, I'm not mad at them, y'all, whoever. Like, I'm mad because I didn't do what I know I needed to do for myself this morning.
Mm.
And so I agree 100%. Like learning how to create that space to take care of you and actually taking care of you. Like
Mhm.
sitting out on the couch is taking care of you in some respects, but like is
Mhm.
it really
Not
helping
a,
in
mm,
terms of like what you really need?
yeah.
Most
Right.
likely not.
I
And
feel
not just
Eh,
that's not just you, that's most people.
That
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. No, I feel you. And sometimes we get caught up thinking that it is just us. Like everybody else is moving around
Oh,
and you're stagnant. And no.
mm.
Mm-mm.
I
No,
like
ma'am.
Some people moving and still ain't going nowhere, so it's fine.
Right.
mm,
Right.
mm,
And that's why I got my tattoos that say hustle and motivate so that I can always remind myself that I need to hustle. Right. And
mm.
so that my hustle also does motivate others. Just the other day, my friend Kayla that I met from therapy Twitter, she was talking about how she wanted to give up on her workout. And she was like, I really was like everything telling me to quit. But then I thought about how Jasmine posts her accountability posts, and I was like, I need to hold myself accountable too. And I'm like, period, friend, period. But I don't want I'm very, very transparent to say like I'm not perfect because I also have plenty of days, which we about to talk about, where I do bargain with myself and I don't do what I need to do. And I do feel shitty about it.
Mm.
you know, um, we are therapists because we just had a full blown session and bypassed the Nunu.
No, for real. What is your new in that case then?
So my Nunu, I alluded to it earlier, was met him at a bar, which is a restaurant in LA. Sorry, y'all gonna have to come and visit. But it is a pasta restaurant and it is all handmade in-house every day. And baby,
That sounds sexy.
I ain't had no pasta like that. And they Brussels sprouts, like chef kiss.
They were crispy.
They was crispy with a nice little glaze situation.
That
It
balsamic.
was I love a balsamic.
I almost say it. Balsamic.
Did you see that video of what's her name, Miss Juicy? She was like, "It's balsamic."
No.
She read it. She literally was like, "It's balsamic." She read it and just
Bueno.
that's what she read. But yeah, met him at a bar. It is by like the Grove area, and it's just fire. And they take reservations, so pull up if you in LA.
Ew.
What about you, America? What's new with you? She said, "Uh-oh, get somebody else to do it."
Let me step in.
Yes.
My new is Love is Blind.
Oh,
And
that's the big one.
chaos that ensues
Okay,
on
that's
that
my
show.
favorite.
Now, I haven't watched since I think I
You
skipped the
tripping.
third
You
season.
tripping.
No. I think I skipped the third season. I saw
Is that with
Cameron.
SK and Raven? Was that last season?
Yeah, that's last season.
You tripping. You
I don't know who
tripping.
those people are. Yeah.
You're tripping.
Okay. All right.
Did you watch the current one?
Yes, the current one. And there are just so many things, like, as a counselor.
We
As
could do an
someone that
episode on that.
studied psychology, there are so many things. And so it is interesting watching, like, okay, well, will they, won't they? I will say that some TikTok channels ruin it because some people went and looked up the marriage records. So those spoilers.
Today I say, must you have no job?
I was gonna say, why?
Because who got time?
Who got time? Apparently people there. So yeah, it was real interesting to watch. I have opinions about Chelsea and Kwame, as most of us do. I have opinions as about what was her name? Micah's friend, her drunk blonde
Brett
friend.
Favre.
Yikes. I have opinions, and yeah, Tiffany and Brett. I found myself like cheesing the whole way through. Like,
And crying too. Like, what the fuck?
my only thing about Brett that I just can't get around is why in the hell were they wearing those black shoes with those cream and white tuxes? Who cleared that?
The only thing I have against Brett is the fact that his hands appear to be ashy. And a lot of the scenes.
I didn't notice, but to be fair, it looks like he comes from country roots, and
They don't got Aquafo.
Well, we just ashy people from the country.
She said, I want you to not take ownership of ashiness.
My dad's always ashy. You know what I mean?
I want you to help.
Well, Jergens. That's what I am.
You need that Nivea. That's what I use. That good old thick Nivea. We like her thick.
Girl, I cannot wait for Beyonce. What you call that thick?
And I'm gonna be the thick goddess.
I keep thinking, like, what am I gonna wear? I think I'm gonna end up buying something and making tweaks to it. There's a top that I have in mind that I'm gonna add ostrich feather to, but the bottom I want, I can't find. I might have to hit up one of the gays to sew something together for me.
Yeah,
which would be on brand for the concept.
Yeah, correct.
I also want to see Jill Scott. Any of our listeners out there, if they're seeing Jill Scott on her 20th anniversary tour, hey. Those are like the only tickets I have left to buy. Damn.
Yes, you are.
Damn.
Did you figure out your new America?
I'm gonna let Love Is Blind be mine too.
Did you? So the people that did get married, I mean, aside from Brett and Tiffany, right? It'd be crazy.
I was wrong.
You were wrong?
I was wrong.
America? Only one I was wrong on was Kwame and
me too. I was wrong.
But
I thought he was gonna say no.
I have beliefs about why he did that, so that's just there. But do I think they'll still be married
Next year?
next
No.
year? No.
No.
Unless there's some really big endorsements coming from it.
Right.
Or his
That's it, and that's all.
acceptance into whiteness, then maybe. But other than that, no. I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And the whole time I'm like, when he was kind of, I guess, like fighting it, it was like, well, here you go. You wanted your white queen this whole time.
Right.
We know damn well what dating pool you've been in. And then on social media, it came out that he's been in the background of these other social
Right.
dating.
Married at first sight. Why
So
is
it's
he so obsessed with marrying somebody he don't know?
his hairline.
But here's the thing, though. You've tried to be on Married at First Sight. You then did what you needed to do to be on Love is Blind. And yet, your hesitation behind marrying this woman, you say, was because of your mother's lack of approval. And she wanted you to marry a Guyanese woman and all of these other things. Yet, you've been on both of these,
pursuing this.
not looking specifically for that type of woman.
Exactly.
So help me understand what's really happening. You're lying.
Right.
You're lying.
Yeah.
You're not worried about your mama's opinion.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want her.
You don't exactly. And that's all it was. That's it. That's all.
Yeah. Now the scene where she's trying on clothes over in the plate of strawberries. Oh my gosh, that was cringe. I was watching that through my fingers like this, like, oh my God. It was you guys don't go on Amazon Prime and watch. Why was I watching the movie Mandingo? It's not what you think. It's not what you think. It's historically based off of Mandingo fighting on plantations.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a daughter, well, the master's white daughter fetishizes these black men, and I'm gonna say takes advantage because she's in a superior role.
Right.
And I can't remember at the end if she ended up pregnant or what or something like that. But it was a sad movie. All right, that and Rosewood will fuck you up. And so ever since watching that movie, I just think about these tropes that we still see in society from those times. And I can't help but think that, I mean, just the fetishization. Am I saying that correctly?
Fetishization.
Yeah, of
Fetishization.
Kwame. Just the feed me the strawberry, the let me feed you, and like his body language is clearly like, oh my God, all of it. Look at Jasmine's face.
It was not given, honey. Anytime that they was on the screen, I was in a cringe. Just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Also,
Now his sister, I could watch a show on Kwame's sister all day. Her energy, her effervescence, her support of him, her being like, I raised you, so give me my flowers. Yeah, but him and Chelsea are cringe. Oh, I don't want to get on a tangent about this. What's her face that left the
Bliss.
nice dude for the, I guess.
Jacquelina.
Yeah. America's face.
Oh, Jacquelina.
Oh my gosh. Now, some of that has to be edited, right? No? All right.
It don't matter how it's edited. It happened.
No, for real. It went down. Yeah. No, for real. That right there. And at the end, the icing on the cake was when she was like, I might need to do some personal work.
I said, bitch, you're absolutely right. You don't need to be with anybody with your crazy ass. And it's given, where's your therapist? It's giving, why are you here worried about this? Like, this the last thing you need to be worried about, babes.
Crazy. Yeah. What y'all do, just to cap this off, what y'all do a social experiment for love? I know you're married and all that, but would you?
I immediately would not.
I would.
America would.
Mm-hmm.
I would, but I can see the trepidation, and I know this is a vanity thing, which is the whole point of like, what if you're not just biologically attracted to that person? The whole reason we're attracted to people physically is for our genes to continue going. So like, what if you just genuinely aren't physically attracted to that person? And what?
Right.
Then you got to rely on the
Well,
love
then you
voice
turn into
behind the wall.
Irina, apparently,
Yikes.
because she was about as bad as they come.
Do we need to do a reality show part 2?
Update. Right. When we talk about these marriage ones, because
Mm, right. And how a lot of us are just trying to find connection through reality TV as human beings.
yeah. And then I guess I did do a social experiment for dating because I was on the social
Ooh,
app.
the
So
app.
I guess in a way, yes. But as far as like being on TV, no, just because I am a very authentic person and say what comes to my mind. And I don't know that that is
Yeah.
good for that.
No, I'm with you. I always used to say back in college that like I couldn't be on Bad Girls Club because I'd be the chick on the couch eating a Chipotle burrito while y'all were fighting over there. Like, what are y'all doing? Oh shit. I just want you to know I wrote down the shitty type of bargains because we all love a bargain.
hmm
But you're right, like, you know, falling off the wagon, falling out of your routine is a shitty type of bargain. Nobody wants that.
It is. And sometimes it's inevitable, right? Well, I guess it depends on what your coping is like when life happens. Because for me, when life happens and like if it's a small thing, it's like, okay, like that's fine. But if it's like a series of small things, then it's going to culminate in me just being like, all right, where's Chick-fil-A? Like, let's do it. Let's do what we want to do. And then that turns into doing that every day on the weekend and avoiding the bike. And then that turns into me also having these negative cognitions that come up because I'm not doing what I know makes me feel good. And I'm not working towards what I say my goals are.
Mm.
And because I'm so focused on the mood and not the goal, it's hard to pull myself out of that until I'm like, okay, bitch, your pants can't fit. Like you're not doing the most. You need to stop. As far as like my health and fitness goes. But I would say that it's also coupled with like not making it a priority to do like my affirmations or journaling, avoiding journaling, because that means I would have to be introspective and think about what's going on. And I haven't wanted to do that.
Mhm.
And so I don't do that. Right. And that looks like maybe not picking up the phone when my friends call because I don't necessarily want to talk about what's going on either.
Yeah, I can relate to that. For me, my okay, it's not even a coping style. I'm an avoidant. So when I feel overwhelmed, when I can't deal, I just avoid it and find something else to distract me. And and it's hard being self-aware of these things about yourself. But then, like you said, like you fall fall off the wagon of just what makes you feel good. Um, and I have to one of the things I have to remind myself when I get back on the wagon is that it feels good to take care of yourself. Um, I was off
And I
from Good
think about
Friday.
that often. When I
Yeah,
think about you saying that often, because I'm
yeah,
like, it does. But in
yeah,
the moment, you're so in it that you can't see that.
yeah. On Good Friday, I was off and I went and ran errands. I just like got up, left the house. I brushed my teeth first. Left the house
Great job.
and 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 got things done. And it felt good. I went to the doctor's office, figured out what was going on with uh the new insurance. They assigned me to the wrong doctor, got an appointment for my physical, um, got a new battery for my car, just like went down the list of like things I needed to do. Also, if you need an inspection on your car, don't go get a battery 2 hours before you do that. I was so content on being productive that I was doing things in different orders. So when I went and sat for an hour for the inspection, they were like, "Well, your car failed because we couldn't read anything off your system because the battery resets everything." So ladies, don't do it. But yeah, that's how that's how to remind myself. And I even told my mom that. I was like, "Remind me when I call you feeling some type of way. Just
Hmm.
remind me that I said that." Yeah. What about you, Lady
What's
Beth? Uh, What would you gonna say?
he said the same thing I was gonna say.
I had a lot of different thoughts at one time, to be honest. I think sometimes too, though, we can be in our routine
Hmm.
and be doing all of the things and still not feel any better and or different.
Hmm.
And I just want to hold space for that too, because
All
I
right.
think in those instances, it can feel like, well, damn, what am I doing wrong? Like it must be something because I'm doing all of these things to take care of myself. I'm moving my body, drinking water, journaling, affirmations, telling people fuck off, and all of these other things. And yet I still don't feel any different or better. And so just also knowing that sometimes it's okay to take a step back from your routine and get curious about the different parts that might need to change or that you might need to do differently. Because sometimes we
Hmm.
get so caught up in this whole self improvement cycle that you can easily get burnt out from it. Like
Hmm.
getting up at 4 Monday through Friday is not
Not cute.
it fucking sucks a good chunk of the time. And so sometimes it might mean, okay, 4 a.m. is causing me to feel burnt out. So maybe instead of 4 a.m., it's 6 a.m. or whatever it is that you need to do, like giving yourself the space to take a step back and see what adjustments need to be made.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's okay too. And
Yeah.
I think for me, I used to be very gun ho on the routine and was very meticulous about it. So like I had to get out of the bed before 4:05 and I had to be
Mm.
downstairs in the car before 4:22. Like it was like this whole thing, right? And like okay, yeah, I was accomplishing the goals if we want to talk about productivity throughout the day and my body was the most snatched it had ever been. I was like on target with protein every day and I was doing all of the things that you're supposed to do, but like I
Hmm.
still felt like shit.
Right.
So I think for because you can reach your body goals and still not feel good about yourself.
Right.
You can be productive throughout the day and still not feel good. It's like, okay, like now what? So I
Right.
think in this season, what I've been leaning more into is yes, I still have a routine, but I've been focusing more on how I want to feel and like
Yeah.
what's going to help me get to that feeling versus it has to be so regimented.
Right. So rigid.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Bridget.
Yeah, because I mean, I tell my clients also that you can be like very specific about your goal, but open to the ways that you get there.
Mhm.
And so when we box ourselves in by saying, I have to reach this by doing X, Y, and Z in this specific order, if it doesn't look like that, we view it as failure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Mm-mm.
And so, to your point, I look at because, I'm doing that rock solid fitness thing. So I look at the workout and I plan what time I'm going to wake up based off that. I know that if it's like a cardio day, I can get up an hour later. It won't take all that time, and giving myself that flexibility to still feel like I'm being productive. 4 a.m. don't have to be like that's productive or not, you know?
Yeah.
Um, I think that as far as eating goes, that's something that in 2020 I felt like I conquered emotional eating. Woo! 2023, that bitch is back.
I'm the opposite. 2020 threw my eating habits completely out the window. Like I'm just now kicking the DoorDash habit.
Same.
Yeah. And DoorDash fucked my pockets up. But it was the convenience of it all.
Mhm,
You know what I mean? Oh, I can
mhm.
have street tacos to my liking and I don't have to put pants on.
Oh, and I don't have to put pants on Tuesday.
Y'all gonna bring it to my door and not talk to me or look at me or touch me? What? You know what I mean? So now
Yeah.
I'm getting back into the habit of grocery shopping, budgeting, cooking,
Mhm.
lunch, you know what I mean? Bringing my lunch. And those things feel good. So yeah, yeah, I'm the opposite because um, when I cook sensible things. When I'm eating out,
Same.
I do what the fuck I want.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same-ish. I get wings like once a week though. Like that's a staple because it's protein. I don't get the fries with it, but I give me some wings. I enjoyed it. Um, but whenever I don't know, last week my period came and it really took me out the game. Usually when my period comes, it's fine. Like I still stay on track. I'm still tracking my food. I'm still working out. Last week, I was not last week, the week before. I was like, no, I'm gonna order this because that's what I want. Like, I'm gonna lay here. But I was also on spring break. And so I don't ever get the time to just like exist when my period is happening. And so I allowed myself that time. And I was like kind of saying some negative things to myself, like, oh, I feel like a house or whatever. But then yesterday, I was like, maybe I needed like that little week off because I'm feeling a little more lean or something, you know. But that week when my period was going on, I fell off the wagon.
Mhm.
Off. Okay. I was ordering all kinds of things. And I got to that point where I was like, damn, I'm kind of tired of eating. I
Yeah.
don't want to eat nothing else.
I get like that too. Well, I'm never really tired of eating, let's be real. But I find that like I'm door dashing like the same shit. So it's not like I'm venturing out. And I live in Houston, Texas. So if I'm spending money, what I should be doing is going and experiencing the
Yeah.
abundance of restaurants we have. So that's my new thing. It's like well, I didn't delete DoorDash because what I do like is traveling and ordering food and like coming back from your trip and it's at my door and I don't have to stop. I can just come home. So I'm gonna keep it for that. Um, but yeah, like I've been doing well about not door dashing to the house the last month. Um, I think I'm gonna become a Costco girly. I spent a lot of money when I went, but I got so much food that what for just April, it's looking like I'm gonna have stuff left over for May too, that's frozen. So I feel good about that. And yeah, for me, I think I gotta follow y'all's advice and just start moving my body more and start trying to do it in the morning as opposed to in the evening. I think that's what's gonna be the next turning point for me. I give y'all props at 4 a.m. though.
It's disrespectful. We
It,
appreciate
well,
it.
it is. I've also, you know what? I've been dipping my toe in the cold water showers. Um, I know y'all said it's a hard adjustment. What I think I'm gonna do instead first is do the face plunge in the morning. I think I'm gonna go instead of trying to do the showers whole body, I'm gonna do the face plunge and then work my way into the showers.
That counts too.
Okay.
Mhm.
Look at you go.
Ooh.
So what are go ahead.
I'm sorry. You said something that I think is worth spending some time on.
Mm.
And you said that you thought you had beat
Oh,
the
emotional eating.
from
Mm.
2020, and yet she's still here in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I wanted to highlight that is because I think a majority of the people can probably relate to that in some way, shape, or form of thinking that they've healed from something, and yet it's still something that shows up for them. And
Mm-hmm.
it just makes me think about the way we view ourselves and the framework that we use when we're trying to fix or change these things. And I know oftentimes when it's something about us that we don't like, we shame ourselves or
Right.
we're critical of that process. And so, usually, if we are critical or we're having this shaming awareness, when you have something that you think is gone, you just push it to the side. The bitch ain't went nowhere. She just waiting for you to have a moment where you forget or where you're not using your coping skills, and she gonna pop back up on your ass like the nigga you thought you
Like,
blocked.
hey,
Like she just gonna, hey girl,
Chick-fil-A.
literally. And so I just think that's important that when we're talking about routines or falling off or on or whatever the case may be, is that we're just mindful of the language that we're using around these parts of ourselves that we might not particularly like. And
Right.
that we are leaning more into being curious about these parts of ourselves versus shaming and critical, because that's not going to motivate us for lasting change. It's not.
Right.
We're going to always find ourselves coming right back to that thing or those things if we're not really intentional about that word.
And that is facts. That is facts. Well, what are some reminders or maybe mantras that you say to yourself when you want to kind of bargain with yourself about whatever your goals are and not wanting to do what you know you need to do? That helps you to like stay on track.
Two things for me. I am a get to versus have to person.
Yes.
Um,
Come on, Jess.
but I used to have before I saw her.
Me too. Me too. Right.
I want to be like, bitch, get out my
You
head.
ain't come up with that. Right.
But so that is always super helpful. I try to catch myself when I'm in that loop of damn, I have to go do this. And sometimes it still really is I have to go do it and I don't want to. But I try to focus more on the I get to do it because it's empowering. I get to have a choice. I don't have to do shit I don't want to do. That's the truth, actually, even when it don't feel like it. And then the second one is being okay with and working with the uncertainty instead of trying to fight it. Like, this is messy. We humans. Sometimes you're gonna be on all the way, and sometimes not. And so instead of trying to fight what it is, get curious about what's happening and if there's changes that need to be made.
Right.
I like that.
I love that.
I've been trying to implement what I tell my students. And so a big thing for me is the effort and that you don't have to have the right answers. And I tell them that when it comes to their schoolwork. But it's something that I, as of recently, have really been thinking about. Well, those words, how I can implement them, and not just to my schoolwork, right? It's the effort that you put in versus it being right. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
my adulthood stuff is like the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. So I should be doing this. I would have been that. I could have been better, different, or whatever. And shaking off the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and just being in the now. That's
Mm-hmm.
something that's taken me years to grow out of. So yeah, that's like my newest mantras is it's the effort you put in, not necessarily the right way.
Yes. Yes. I guess as far as me, I would say just reminding myself of what my goals are and focusing on the goals instead of the moods because the moods are going to change. And if I make a decision based off of the mood, then that can either push me forward to what my goal is or bring me further from what my goal is. And so reminding myself of that, um, as well as like, I can't be mad about the results I don't have with the work I didn't put in. Like, if I didn't put in that work, can I really be mad about it? No, I didn't do what I said I needed to do. So, those are the kinds of things that are helpful for me, as well as the getting to. Like, I get to go to the gym. My alarm for the weekend is like, let's go, girl. You get to work out at the gym today, you know. And so I find that just pouring into myself like in a positive way instead of making it seem like a chore is helpful for how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I feel like that was a great conversation. And I'm sure that you could get something from it, whether it's about Love is Blind or, ways to
Love
be more
myself first.
compassionate. Right. Ways to be more compassionate with yourself. Um, so, yeah, good combo as always. And just remember, you can go to Pilates, you can hit the gym, you can go for a hike, you can only drink green drinks, and you can do 7,200 steps a day. But if you're ignoring the things going on in your head and in your heart, then you're still not truly healthy. So go on ahead and seek therapy. We all need that shit. We will see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.